Hi, I'm Chef Todd Moore. Welcome to Cooking Course. Oh, I'm cooking a recipe. Would you like me to show you how I cook a recipe? Be glad to. First thing we do is take a saute pan. We get some fire on the stove and take our recipe. Touch that to the flame. Nice medium heat, right, under the stove, and that's how we cook a recipe. Now, why am I burning recipes? To make a point. My feeling is that one of the most difficult things for the home cook is the recipe, is this recipe book, these specific instructions that you must follow. This is the only way to prepare something edible. Well, that couldn't be further from the truth. Cooking is an art form, like music is, like painting is. And if it's an art form, it's open to artistic interpretation, so that you can instill your specific likes and dislikes into recipes. Why must we follow one person's specific ingredients and specific instructions, especially with all the variations possible in recipes? When a recipe calls for 1 onion chopped, is the onion this big? Is the onion this big? When it calls for medium heat, I got news for you. Medium heat on your stove at home is much different than medium heat on my stove here. How do you quantify medium? So with the inherent differences and variations in recipes, how do we come out with something that we're proud of, that we enjoy? Well, I see it like the guitarist, like the musician, like the painter. Here's what happens in the home kitchen, right? You get your favorite cookbook, you open it up to your recipe, and the first thing is onions, right? So, excuse me, onions chopped. In the pan. Excuse me. Got to look at the recipe again. Celery chopped, and of course the onions are already burnt. So celery on. Excuse me. Got to look at the recipe. Well, what if the guitarist did this? What if an accomplished musician? I'm an accomplished guitarist. I'm going to play the guitar. Excuse me. I have to look at the sheet music. Excuse me, I have to look. No, they strum, they go, they play. The painter, he paints, he applies the paints in his artistic interpretation. This is what I hope to empower you with. We needn't follow recipes line for line, word for word, considering the variables in them especially. Have you ever read a recipe that says cook at 350 degrees for 20 minutes? 20 minutes? How do they know? How do they know how thick the chicken is? How do they know how thick the pan is? How do they know what the pan's made out of? How do they know how medium my medium heat is? How do they know what altitude I live at? How do they know all these variations in a recipe to be able to sit at the publishing house and tell me absolutely it's 25 minutes? You can't go by that. You go by your specific likes and dislikes. You apply basic cooking method. If you cook a recipe, you cook one thing. When you apply basic cooking method, you cook all things. Here at Cooking Course, what I hope to do is bring you basic cooking method, ideas, chef secrets from the culinary world, and demystify these recipes. Make them simpler for you, give you more confidence in the kitchen, and I hope you follow me on a daily basis.